Dadaliwa, my beloved, and welcome to Phoenixing, the Mirror of Ifa, a digital space for women learning how to be balanced, sovereign, and alive across every seasons of life. A home for post-survival wisdom where empowerment does not shout but rises, rooted in the wisdom of Ifa, an ancient Yoruba system of knowledge that teaches us how to live in alignment with our destiny, our body, our ancestors, and our truth. Before we begin, let's take a moment to align the mind and awaken our inner head, our Ori. May your Ori be calm, protective, receptive. May only what is meant to nourish you reach you today. And may you feel safe as we journey back into ancestral wisdom. Ashe? There is a quiet truth Ifa repeats again and again. When guidance is ignored, life does not immediately fall apart. It becomes heavy. Thoughts multiply without clarity. The nervous system stays alert even at rest. Fear speaks louder than intuition. Conflicts appears where there was once ease. In Irosun Ogunda, this state is described as strength without direction, action without consultation, movement that has lost its inner agreement. This Odu Ifa teaches that anxiety is not weakness. It is the soul signaling misalignment. Pressure rises not because life is cruel, but because the Ori is no longer leading the body. Yet, Ifa also reassures us, alignment does not erase struggle, it reorganizes it. When guidance is restored, conflict becomes instruction, discipline replaces panic, and what once felt like war begins to feel like honor. In a pataki from Irosun Ogunda, long ago, there lived a farmer named Adegbemi, known for his strength and tireless work. Because his harvests were abundant, he stopped greeting his Ori each morning. He no longer consulted Ifa. He said, "My hands already know the way." At first, nothing went wrong, but slowly, his sleep became restless. Neighbors quarreled with him without cause. Every task demanded more effort than before. Angry and exhausted, Adegbemi sharpened his cutlass harder, believing more force would restore order. Instead, the land resisted him. Finally, he went to consult Ifa. Irosun Ogunda spoke and said, "Your strength is not the problem. Your strength is walking ahead of your wisdom." He was instructed to feed his Ori, to pause before acting, and let guidance move first. When Adegbemi returned to his farm, the cutlass felt lighter in his hand. The soil opened more easily. The land had not changed. He had. From that day on, his labor carried dignity instead of strain, and life no longer felt like a battlefield. This is the teaching for us today. When we ignore spiritual guidance, life grows loud. When we return to alignment, life grows clear. Not easy, not silent, but honorable. Phoenixing reminds us that you do not need to fight your life to prove your worth. You need only return to agreement with your Ori. And now, my beloved, before we close this story, I invite you to pause, not to analyze, but to notice. Notice where your life feels heavier than it needs to be. Notice where efforts has replaced guidance. Notice where you may be pushing when listening would carry you further. This is not a moment for judgment. Odu Ifa Irosun Ogunda does not shame us for forgetting. It simply reminds us how to return. So if your mind has felt crowded, if anxiety has been speaking too loudly, if conflicts has multiplied without invitation, this is your signal, not your failure. Place one hand on your head and one hand on your chest and ask yourself gently, What does my Ori need from me right now? Not tomorrow, not when everything is fixed. Now. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to realign. You are allowed to exchange force for honor. Phoenixing walks with you here, not to rush your healing, but to protect your return. If this message spoke to you, we invite you to walk with us. Check in with Phoenixing, a space for reflection, remembrance, and healing. On YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok, share what resonates, pause when you need to, and reach out when support is required. You were never meant to navigate this transition alone. This is your home. Ashe.